briefly introduce the chamber before we proceed with the session. This Andhra Chamber of Commerce is a 93-year-old chamber. This is one of the oldest chambers in South India. And this has got around 1,300 members and 35 associations under its fold. And the chamber has got branches in Hyderabad, Vizag, Vijayawada, but the head office, the registered office, stays in Chennai. And the main activities of the chamber are organizing seminars, webinars, taking business delegations to other countries, and we also do conferences, and we issue certificate of origin to the exporters, and we issue visa recommendation letters, etc. These are some of the major activities of the chamber. And the chamber organizes these industry programs every now and then, at least twice in a month. And this is the first program of the year as far as January 2022 is concerned. So as you may all know that, Andhra Chamber has been doing regular initiatives, and we welcome the speakers of the day, Mr. USP Yadav, Scientist F and DDG Southern Region, Shri Vijayaveeran, Scientist D, BAS Southern Region, Mr. ON Srivastava, External Auditor from BAS, and Ms. Rama Venugopal, the Chairman of Quality and Subcommittee. Today's webinar is about occupational safety and health administration standards, which are the rules that describe the methods that employers must use to protect their employees from hazards. There are OHSAS standards for construction work, maritime operations, and general industry, etc. And OHSAS mission is to ensure that employees work in a safe and healthful environment by setting and enforcing standards. And by providing training, outreach, education, and assistance, employers must comply with all applicable OHSAS standards. We have with us eminent speakers from Bureau of Indian Standards today who will enlighten us on the standards and how the industry members can follow the same and protect the employees. I welcome all the industry members who have joined today for this webinar. And I would like to congratulate and thank Mr. Srimati Rama Venugopal, the Chairman of Quality Systems and Productivity and Startup Business Entrepreneurship Subcommittees of the Chamber. The Chamber has got around 14 subcommittees on various aspects like indirect taxes, direct taxes, foreign trade, etc. And one such is the Quality Systems and Productivity Subcommittee, and Ms. Rama Venugopal heads that the subcommittee, and for initiating this useful program. And before we proceed with the technical session, I request Ms. Rama Venugopal to please introduce the program objective to the participants. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vijayalakshmi. Warm welcome to the speakers of the day and the participants from the industry. This is the first program of the new calendar year, and we are glad that this program has received very good response. In fact, we've received about 300 plus registrations. Yes. And it was actually organized at a very short notice, and I must thank BIS for accepting our request at such a short notice and coming out with a topic which is of greater relevance today. Why did we pick up and choose the topic workplace health and safety? OHSAS, or Occupational Health and Safety Standard, has been there for many years, and industries have been implementing OHSAS standards by and large, but then somehow it was always considered to be an industrial safety exercise. And a pandemic has taught the global markets now. The pandemic still continues, and we are still under the wave and the spell of it. This has brought a new dimension to the workplace health and safety, because all of us are working, including a small office to a larger industrial unit. The models are suddenly offline, suddenly online, or it's a hybrid model, and then we're all working from home suddenly, and then we are at the workplace. And even we just went back to office, and then somebody fell sick in office by chance. All of us fell sick, and again we have shifted to work from home mode, at least for the next couple of weeks. This is the pattern that we are seeing in most of the offices and mid-sized businesses, larger units. There is a conversation which is happening at the marketplace that industries are really keen to know if there are guidelines, if there are frameworks, or if there are any standards which they can look at and to implement. And workplace health and safety is actually gaining a lot of momentum now. Not that the industry was not providing all this provisions. But however, now post-pandemic, and this is the time, when industry is more keen to know the employees' wellness, and health and wellness has become such a critical factor. So if there is a ready reckoner or a reference document or a reference guidelines, and industry prefers to follow and prefers to refer the same. So we thought like this is the most appropriate topic, and especially now we also have the new industrial codes that are, coming up, labor codes in the country, and at least all the labor codes, all the 4 codes have been enacted, and OSH code is also enacted, and many states are actually creating the rules. So we are expecting at least a couple of these codes to be rolled out, and there is an expectation in the market that OSH code at least will be rolled out from April. At least this is what the general expectation from the industry at the marketplace. And that becomes a regulatory requirement, and businesses have to meet the requirements of that. And standards are voluntary, and certifications are voluntary, and businesses wanted to know in detail about this international standard, which is internationally accepted. That is the reason why we have chosen this topic, and we will be doing series of sessions, and we have requested BIS to do more and more collaborative sessions with the chamber, and BIS has obliged. And more than the standards, marketplace is also often asking more about product certifications, and there are quality control orders. At least there are a couple of new QCOs which are released, and the industry wants to know a little more about the quality control orders. And the product certification is an all the time demand, and for various sectors, many businesses are getting under regulatory space and domain. And in businesses and industries should know more about our Indian standards, our national standards. BIS is our national standards organization. We should know about the product certification that is available for various products, and we should also know about testing related requirements. So that is the reason why we have requested BIS to do a series of programs for the benefit of the industry throughout this academic year, and I hope they will accept our request. And Chamber is a not-for-profit organization. Our intent is only to impart knowledge to the industry about wide range of topics. We will be reaching out to you for more and more sessions, and our all committees are chaired by entrepreneurs and industrialists, and who are always extremely proactive in chairing all the sessions. So I thank once again BIS and the participants, and maybe we can just move on to the first session, the topic of the day. We would like to invite Shri Yadav ji from BIS to present to the industry, because we are seeing BIS doing series of initiatives from a 365-degree perspective across various sectors and across various industries on one side. On the other side, we are also doing a wonderful consumer connect initiatives where educating the consumers. And we are thrilled to see BIS setting up standards clubs in the schools and the colleges. And we are seeing a very vibrant atmosphere in the country, and we're so happy to. And just imagine standards clubs in the schools, teaching the children, catching them young, and trying to make them understand what the standard is all about. So we would like to hear from you, sir. Over to you. Please do tell us more about multiple initiatives from BIS. Thank you, sir. Or not audible, sir? You're not audible, sir.
Madam, are we audible?
No, we are not able to hear.
Yes.
You can keep the mic little closer.
Essentially.
Madam, no audible, madam.
Little. Yes, sir.
Am I audible, madam?
Yeah, clear.
Yeah.
Now clear, sir. Yes, thank you.
So when I was transferred in the month of September, before coming here, my senior colleague, Mr. Anil Johri, told me, Yadav, you are nice to hear that you are going to Chennai. You must contact with Madam Rama Venugopal. And she is the one personality who is a fan for quality and standard. So you will have lot of work there with her. You can do many work there. So after coming here, I contacted Madam, and in fact, she was very graceful to visit one day to my office also. So thank you, Madam, for organizing this wonderful program. In fact, BIS is now more and more reaching out to the industry, the public, academia, and government administrations. We are regularly doing programs at different levels, at the schools, at district administration level and state government level, and teaching about or informing about the standards they can use, or the product or services they are using. What are those standards? How those standards can be implemented? Where those standards can be located? All these things. And you must be aware that now almost all Indian standard has been made free of cost. It is free of cost to all public except the ISO and IC adopted a standard for which you have to pay the real royalty. That's for that we only charge now. You will be heartening to note that BIS has also started one separate division council for the services sector. The services was one of the major
The voice is breaking.
Sir, your voice is floating, breaking, sir. Not audible, sir. We lost your voice.
Video is also not there.
No, I think normally it's not an issue. Unmute Vijayalakshmi. It's muted. BIS again. Please unmute.
Yeah, am I audible, ma'am?
Now it's clear, sir. Yes, sir.
So in fact, regarding QCOs, I want to have organized series of products. Like we can have program on footwear. We can have a program on safety of heavy machinery. We can have program on electrical appliances. We can have program on steel, cement, and many other sectors, toy. Brought out many QCOs recently. And we wish to inform the industry what are those standards, what are the requirements to fulfill the requirement standard, what could be the testing facility, and how you can get the certifications. All sector-wise specific we want to organize. And I request both Andhra Chamber of Commerce and Madam to please suggest a sector, and we are there for any day. We are ready to have a webinar or seminar for those QCOs.
Sure, sir.
And regarding today's topic, in fact, we have a very eminent speaker, my senior, Mr. Srivastava. And I hope the participant will have full benefit of his knowledge and experience. And And I would request one more thing to all the participants. BIS has brought out several standards on the safety. In fact, 2 sectional committees are exclusively devoted to the safety, CSD 7 and CSD 8. And many standards are there for the industrial safety, chemical safety, the code of practices, these signages of safety. Many interesting standards are there. One standard I'd like to mention, which is very relevant towards today's topic, is IS 15656. The methods of the hazard, identifying hazards and risks. Beautiful standards, and in detail it has given how to identify the hazards and how to analyze the risks and how to evaluate those risks. A beautiful standard. And I would request all the practitioners of the occupational health and safety to use those standards for the industry, and and get benefit out of it. Similar to the OHS occupational health, I also want to have even the for the environmental management system also, for the sector specific, like for the leather industry, or occupational health and safety for the cracker industry, or where the accidents are very frequent, or maybe the textile industry, or maybe the steel industry or cement industry, sector specific industry. So where we can focus what are the safety or environmental issues are there. I would like to request Madam Venugopal to collaborate with us on these subjects also. So we can dissipate the knowledge of the standards to the public, to the industry, so that our country in turn we can get benefit out of it. Thank you, madam. I will not take much of time. Everybody is eager to hear our learned colleague, Mr. Srivastava. Thank you, sir, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for those inputs. Today's program also, we have representation from wide range of industries and sectors. We have participation both from manufacturing as well as from services sector.
Just a minute, madam. I was looking, one participant has just posted a message that regarding the publication of IS 26002 part 2. In fact, I was one of the drafting person of that standard. I was actively involved in drafting that standard. We will certainly have a program on this, both the CSR standard, then the part 26002 part 1 and part 2. Definitely we'll have a program on that, and I request Madam Venugopal to take initiative. You fix the date, we will be there.
Fair enough, sir. Thank you so much for that. We are also actually planning for a program QCO for leather and footwear industry, and we are coordinating with Bhavani ma'am, and maybe in the month or towards the end of Feb or in the month of March first week, we are planning to do one session on QCO for footwear and leather industry. And we also wanted to do a session for toy sector and the QCO for that, and the importance and relevance of that. So multiple things, as you said, sector specific, we can roll out. We can bring sector specific participants also, and it's more relevant, and there's a lot of interest at the marketplace, because a lot of exports are happening from the country, and many MSME businesses are exporting, and everybody really wants to understand the focus and demand is more for international standards, and also to meet the local national requirements also. There is a demand to know more about national standards also. We will definitely reach out to you, sir, for many initiatives and many such programs. Thank you for that. Vijayaveeran sir, just wanted to check whether we can proceed with Srivastava sir's session, and after that we can have your session, or we will. Would you like to address about multiple initiatives that we can roll out and you're doing for management system standards?
Definitely, because OHSAS is a very big ocean-like subject. So I think it is better we move on to Srivastava sir's.
After that, again, we will just come back because we want you to list about the management system standards and various initiatives from BIS with reference to management system standards. And then go to Srivastava sir. The participants are eagerly waiting, and we can have the topic of the day is about occupational health and safety. And over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Rama Venugopal. And I will give you my brief introduction. I am lead auditor for 6 management subsects: quality ISO 9000, environment ISO 14000, occupational health and safety ISO 45000, food safety management system 22000, laboratory quality management system 17025, then service quality management system of BIS. I am also a member of the technical committee FAD 14, which look after the food item as well as natural mineral water and packaged drinking water. I am General Secretary of BIS Pensioner Welfare Association and is still doing a lot for them. And today I have given an half an hour time, and I would like to cover the main standard, if possible, whatever the extent possible. OHSMS, that is the latest ISO 45001 2018, that is the latest standard available and implemented by most of the industries. And in ACC, I still know that most of the industry has already implemented it. And now I would like to share my presentation with you, madam. And it is the awareness training program on occupational health and safety management system. And let me see, yes. It is, you will find my mobile number and you will find the email address also. If you have any query, you can also write to me or you can talk to me on my mobile. This ISO 45001 2018, adoption of this standard is intended to enable an organization to provide safe and healthy workplace.
Are you sharing the presentation, sir? Are you sharing the presentation?
Yes, I have already 1 minute. I have already shared the minute.
Yes.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah,
please. 1 minute. Let me first share it. मैंने share नहीं किया.
Yeah.
I have already started. Just a minute.
Yes.
Okay, let me share the presentation. Yes. Now it is on the screen.
No, sir. No, sir.
No.
It is not.
No.
Achha,
No.
just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
अब आ गया?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. पहले share नहीं ले रहा था. Now it is working. Let me have full screen. Yes. Adoption of this is international standard is intended to enable an organization to provide safe and healthy workplace. Number 1, prevent work-related injury and ill health, continuously improve its OHS performance by eliminating hazard and minimizing OHS risk and taking advantage of opportunity. How to minimize risk? By taking preventive and protective measures. What are preventive measures? Means that you can adopt operational control procedure. You can adopt a standard operating procedure or work instruction. As decided by your organization. And then the protective measures means use of PPEs. You can eliminate hazard or reduce the effect of that hazard. Now we come to the development of ISO 45001-2018. The standard was developed by the project committee ISO PC 283 and published in March 2018. The new standard was developed with the help of, that is OHSAS 18001. That was the first standard published by an association in 1999. And the guideline which was prepared by International Labour Organization, that is ILO, office is at Geneva. And the foremost preamble of this ILO constitution is labor is not a commodity. They have said it long time back. And their guideline and then OHSAS 18001 is the outcome of ISO 45001. The document is applicable to any organization. Anyone can take the advantage and implement this standard. And with this implementation, the industry will improve occupational health and safety and eliminate hazard and minimize OHS risk, to take advantage of OHS opportunities, to address OHS management system and non-conformities associated with its activities. Why ISO 45001 was developed? What was the need? When one standard was already available on OHS, ILO guideline was available, but the industry was in need for growing. There was a growing demand for this kind of management system on occupational health and safety, which can be audited and that can be certified also by the third-party agency. And the rising health and safety cost. Various accidents were taking place here and there because the people were not able to understand or not able to manage those various hazards which they should, and there was a increased legislation that was creating some kind of problem in various industries all over the world. That was the scenario at various locations. So therefore, there was a need for ISO 45001 that was decided by ISO, and it was developed in association with ILO. This ISO 45001-2018, it is on Annex SL basis. It was introduced to ensure that all future ISO management standard would share, number one, common format, number two, code definition, and then the generic test. Aim is to make easier for organization to have a single management system that they can integrate quality, environment, and OHSMS all together and they can have one manual, one integrated procedure for implementation, and repetition is not there. Therefore, you will save the time, money, and the people will understand in a better way. That too, if they go for ISO 45000 after implementing quality and environment management system that meet ISO 9001, 2015, and ISO 14001, 2015 requirement. Now, I will show you high level structure. This is the high level structure. ISO has decided whatever the management standard they will produce at ISO, they will have a high level structure. You will find all these 10 items in all the management system standard. Therefore, their integration will also be easy. In 9001, same element, EMS, same element, OHSMS same element, therefore integration and having only one single management system, that is integrated management system, that will help the organization in reducing the paperwork. And this high level structure, you will find that it depends upon the PDCA cycle, and the first three elements, that is the scope, normative reference, term and definition. These are the three general requirements you will find in all the standard. Then context of the organization, that is a new class was introduced where organization has to identify internal and external issues and review them time to time, monitor them, and then they have to identify the interested parties and the need of the interested parties, and interested parties include employees also. Then leadership and planning under plan, support and operation, that is the do part, performance evaluation, it is the check part, and then the improvement is act part. Now we will see that how this management system look like if we apply the PDCA cycle. You will find it is the context of the organization, that is class 4. This will work as input, internal and external issues, and then the need and expectation of interested parties, they are the input for the planning of management system. It will come under plan, and it will come to the everything will move around leadership and workers participation. It is class 5. Planning is class 6. After the planning, we will have the do part, support and operation. Support system is required for the operation, the class 7 and 8, that is the do part. And then the performance evaluation, that is the class 9. It is a check part. And then after the checking, we will have the improvement, and then it will keep on moving in direction. And then the outcome is intended outcome of the OHSMS, that is the health and safety of the employees. And then the scope of the OHS management system, that is given in 4.3 and 4.4. This is a graphical presentation in PDCA cycle form. All the management system depends fully adopt the PDCA cycle. The scope of the standard is applicable to any organization. Anybody, whosoever is interested, can adopt the standard. It is regardless of its size, type, or activity. The standard does not state specific criteria for OHS performance, nor it is prescriptive about design of OHS management. How you will move about the organization has to decide for itself, and then for OHS performance, they can set up their own objectives. How they want to move about, they have to document their system, and then they have to implement it. The standard does not address issues such as product safety. It is not included here. Property damage or environmental impact. Property damage and environmental impact, it was earlier available in BIS standard, that is IS 18001. But now BIS has also aligned their standard with ISO 45001. Therefore, these two requirements in the definition of the hazard has been removed: property damage and environmental impact beyond the risk to worker and other relevant interstate parties. Now the term and definition, I have thought, let me share 2-3 definitions that is really very important. If you would like to implement this management system, you will definitely need to have these definitions. Worker, person performing work or work related activity that are under the control of the organization. Here it also includes the contractor worker. The worker includes person performing the work or work related activities under various arrangements. paid or unpaid, regular or temporary, seasonal or casual, or on part-time basis. And the second is utmost important. Workers also include top management, managerial and non-managerial. The standard says whosoever is working in the organization, all are under the definition of worker. That is the thing everybody has to keep in mind. And in our Indian scenario, we definitely differentiate and understand the worker is below the supervisory level or below the managerial level, and managerial level doesn't falls under the definition of worker. But the standard is talking differently, that everybody whosoever is working, that is can be under the definition of worker. That is really very important, and everybody must have a clear concept. Now we will discuss the hazard. Source with a potential to cause injury and ill health. Only 2 items has been left as per the OHSAS as well as ILO, and 2 more requirements which were being covered in Indian standard, that is the damage to the environment and damage to the property has been removed. What is hazard? Can include source with potential to cause harm or hazardous situation, or circumstances with potential for exposure leading to injury and ill health. Only 2 items, injury and ill health. You have to evaluate all the activities which may cause injury and ill health. That is for HIRA analysis, hazard identification and risk assessment, clause is 612. The examples of hazards are, one is biological. Biological will include bacteria, viruses, insects, plant, animal and human. Chemical will include toxic property of chemicals. Physical, that is radiation and noise, it will also affect the employees. Therefore, it has also taken under the hazard. Psychosocial, stress and violence. Safety, that is the slipping, tripping hazard. Equipment breakdown. Ergonomics, improper setup of work instruction. Nowadays, it is very common, that is the ergonomics, sitting in one posture. The people are having a lot of problem, backache, and they were having neck pain, eye strain. Therefore, every time they require to have a little break so that they can be stretch their body, have a little water, and they can little bit exercise also to come out from the ergonomics. That is the definition of hazard. And then the effect of risk. Risk can be defined as effect of uncertainty. It can move in positive or negative direction, both. An effect is a deviation from expected positive or negative. A risk is often expressed in terms of combination of consequences of an event, including change in circumstances and the associated likelihood of occurrence. Then risk. Once you start handling the risk, you will find out the opportunity in between also. Once you will realize the risk, I would like to give you the industries. Those who have realized the risk, they could avail those opportunity. Like if you will consider, let us consider a industry for the bulb, electric bulb. There were number of industries, they were making electric bulb. But with passage of time, the tube light replaced the bulb, and then most of the people, they switch over to tube light. But once CFL came, at that point of time, It started the industry realize the risk. Many of the industry has startup. There is no future scope for tungsten filament lamp bulb. They will not have a much brighter future, or the tube light. And after the CFL, because of the use of the mercury, the environment was getting polluted. The people switch over to LED. The new invention, those who change their production system, technology, they have changed. They had a better opportunity. They realize the risk and switch over to another item. Therefore, the risk is not always you should be afraid of the risk. No, this risk can give you an opportunity to think in a better way. And if you will do little R&D, and then you can modify and you can survive in the market. Many industries have switched over on LEDs. It has completely replaced the bulb, and very few industries have survived, those who are making only bulb. Many industries have come down. That is about the term and definition. Now, new class has been added in this OHS management system, that is the leadership and worker participation. The worker participation has been added for the first time. It is not available in any of the standards. Top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to OHS management system. What top management need to do? Taking overall responsibility and accountability. This word has come for the first time, accountability. He will be overall responsible for the effectiveness of management system. Now he has to take responsibility and accountability for prevention of work-related injury and ill health, as well as provision of safe and healthy workplace and activity. For whom? It is for employee. Then he has to demonstrate and make a commitment. That is most important. He has to demonstrate also and make a commitment. The auditor will verify during the audit whether he is demonstrating and making a commitment to prevent work-related injury and ill health, as well as safe and healthy workplace and activity, protecting worker from reprisal when reporting incident, hazard, risk, and opportunity. In India, definitely there was a different scenario. The people were not telling about the incident. They will get afraid of, because the top management will get angry. What has happened? Why you have not looked after? Why could not take care? Why you have not used the equipment, fire extinguisher, etc. What you were doing at that time? Therefore, the people were afraid of. Now, standard says protecting worker from reprisal when reporting incident, hazard, risk, and opportunity, ensuring the organization establishes a process for consultation and participation of worker. This has been added, and the clause is 5.4. Consultation is one part, participation is another part. In the participation, the people can give their views also. Consultation, they can be involved in any discussion. Support the functioning of Health and Safety Committee. As per Factory Act, there is a Health and Safety Committee has been formulated by all the industries, and this Health and Safety Committee takes care of safety and health issues relating to the worker. This time it is the first time it has been added here. The other specific requirement, consultation and participation of the worker, that is the clause 5.4 in the standard. Identification of hazard and risk assessment, that is the old, that is the 6.12, that is the clause number, where the hazard has to be identified and risk is to be assessed. And if the risk assessment is high, moderate, or low, if the high, then you try to reduce the risk level, only then you can start the work. And moderate, you can live with that moderate, and low level, you need not to worry, and then you can proceed further. Eliminating hazard and reducing risk, that is you have the whole organization are considering, if possible, they eliminate the hazard and try to reduce the risk by preventing, by implementing operational control procedure or standard operating procedures. And you can also reduce the risk by use of PPEs, identification of applicable legislation. Most of the legislation, they are covered under the Factory Act, regular verification of compliance of legislation. Some of the legislation you will find from that will need to be implemented as stated by the state government. And the most important, it is a two-way communication, internal and external communication, that has been given due importance, so that the worker should feel free and then they can communicate. During the meeting also, the worker must be involved in the objective, in the internal audit, in management review meeting. And then even if they are not involved, they must be communicated about the decision taken during the management review meeting. Emergency preparedness and response, it is as good as given in EMS. However, here emergency preparedness response, it is also to be looked after, considering the implies and issues related to the worker. Control of outsourcing, procurement, and contractor, and the continual improvement of the organization, OHS management performance, that is the class 10.3. Most of these elements were the part of OHS AS 18001 in ISO 45001. They have been revised and upgraded in a more strategic manner. Consultation and participation of worker. The organization shall establish, implement, and maintain a process for consultation and participation of worker at all level and function. That is important. At all level and function, the organization shall provide what mechanism? What mechanism they will provide? They will provide then time, training, resources for consultation and participation, provide timely access to clear, understandable, and relevant information about OHSMS, determine and remove obstacle and barrier to participation and minimize those that cannot be removed. It is the responsibility of the top management to remove obstacle and barrier, because in many organizations, workers are not given due importance. Still, the people think that they are the commodity and they are less educated, they do not know anything. But we have observed that the shop floor people, they have a very good knowledge when the working environment or the how to carry out an activity, they are better skilled person. They can perform a task in a better way, and what safety aspect kept into mind while considering OHSMS. Now, business benefits: minimize and or eliminate risk to employees and other, reduce accident, incident, and cost, improve business performance, improve productivity, eliminate hazard and minimize OHS risk, continual improvement that you will find if you will implement and if you will set the objective in a proper way, that is the SMART objective. If you will set up these objectives and these implementation of management system will lead to the continual improvement, decrease medical and disability cost. If any incident occur in the industry, then what organization need to do? Bear all expenditure in case of hospitalization, intimation to the government if hospitalization is more than 48 hours as per the legal requirement, and then he has to bear the disability cost. Earlier Indian standard was including rehabilitation also, but In India, definitely rehabilitation must be considered by all the industries, where otherwise where the worker will go. If the industry wants to include in OHSMS, absolutely they can do that. Improve company image. If you will not have any accident or you have not closed down your work, therefore improve company's image. And many industries, they advertise accident free days, 300 accident free days, 100 accident free days. That way they are advertising also. And then worker consultation and participation, that these are some of the benefits. And this is all my presentation. I have thought, let me have my presentation, the people will definitely know it. And this is all. If anybody would ask any question, I will definitely reply.
Sir, please show your first slide in the PPT, sir. Participants were asking because.
First slide. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
which had your contact.
I have contact details.
Okay, contact detail.
Yeah.
Just a minute. I have to reload, huh, no?
Yeah.
No, this is fine, sir. We are able to see.
Reload. Okay.
No, we are able to see, sir.
Okay.
Now it has gone.
Can you share again, sir? People will see.
I am sharing. I am sharing. Share. And then.
Yeah.
Agya?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Participants can make a note of the contact details.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Clear? Yes.
It has SAR's mobile number as well as email ID. Please make a note of it.
Anybody need my help? Absolutely no issue. छोटी problems भी अगर हैं, they can always discuss with me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And how many pages is the standard, sir? That you
This
have
is standard is just a minute, madam.
approximately that you have perfectly, kind of captured everything, all the key requirements.
Yeah, I have tried to brief you about the standard.
That's fine. I'm just asking because it's actually just very tough and challenging to cover a detailed standard in about 30 minutes.
Madam,
time.
it is 41 pages.
Absolutely, that's not. It's around 40 to 50 pages is the average.
41 pages.
And then you have actually captured all the critical requirements. Maybe sometime later we can do a detailed 1 or 2 days session for the industry. Okay. And shouldn't be a problem. We will reach out to the PIS and we will take the help and we can organize. Thank you so much, sir. And that we will have the question and answer towards the end, sir. We just have one more session by Mr. Vijayaveeran. Yeah. So after the session, we will have the Q&A session. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for that crisp and very effective and informative session and presentation, sir. You have captured all the requirements. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Over to Mr. Vijayaveeran, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, now we request you to share with the industry about the management, because you are from the management system standards division. Please throw some light to the industry about various MS standards where a lot of certifications are happening and multiple sectors that you're dealing with. Please brief the industry about the management system standards and multiple initiatives from BIS, sir. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, madam. And good evening, respected chair. Our director Balakrishnan sir is also here with us because Yadav sir is just joined another meeting with our Delhi headquarters. So we have with us our senior auditor and scientist E and regional hallmarking officer Shri Balakrishnan sir with us. And madam, this I would like to take some 5 to 7 minutes about the various management systems pertaining to the industry specific. In this, today only we will cover the overall picture, and later on we are planning to have a specific industry specific topic itself. Especially like Yadav sir was telling, one for the textile industry, steel industry, leather industry, like in that we can go into detail. Now I'll present the overall structure of this as well as the fee structure and what are the discounts and subsidies available for the MSME sector through DIC, Department of Industries and Commerce. Okay, just are you able to see the screen, madam?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I will skip the regular because we see what is the stand. BIS is a national standards body, all we are a non-profit organization, all that. What is the standard and all we will skip because it is a detailed presentation. Straight away, let me go to the management system standards under certification. ISO 9001, as we all know, it is the most popular one, followed by EMS as well as occupational health and safety, which is today's topic, dealt in overall picture given by Shri Srivastava sir, our senior retired colleague. And a very fast picking up is the international, another international standard, information security management system. 27001. Now privacy is a very big concern. How much data is a new oil, everybody is telling. So how to protect the data, personal data, confidential data. So this information security management system, the demand is increasing. Similarly, energy, cost of energy also is a matter of concern nowadays because energy is scarce, and how you use the energy audits, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, all the star ratings, we are finding energy efficiency in almost all walks of our life. So the certification against energy management, the ISO 50001, that is also on the rise. And another popular certification for industry, especially the food industry, the food safety management systems, FSMS, ISO 22001. Then the lesser popular standards, I can say all these road traffic safety management systems, and educational organizations management systems, then adventure tourism safety management system, and anti-bribery management system. Of late, it has become very popular, which is even we have started certifying Central Warehousing Corporation, another Haryana Jal Nigam board, all they are getting certified by BIS. From southern region, there is no license. We are pursuing with many bodies, but we are yet to grant any license. This ready-mix concrete, there are a lot of licenses we are having. It is also, it is a composite. As you can see, it is ISO 9001 plus IS 4923, in which the product testing also is a requirement. So it is also composite. And another is this for pouched milk, pasteurized pouched milk also, this is product as well as the management system standard. This another recently, last month only, our Honorable PM has launched the conformity assessment scheme. That is for integrated milk certification. Any milk and milk products based industry can obtain a single certification for its product, process as well as system. Put together, it is a single certification. To save their cost and time, they need not go for separate ISA license, then there's a food safety management license, then National Dairy Development Board process inspections will be there. All that put together, BIS grants a single license for all the dairy related industry, right from milk to butter, ghee, dahi, all the dairy, various dairy products. This is the latest. As we can see, all the standards have basically 9001 is a mother standard from which all the other standards are tailor-made. Like we can say MBBS is the foundation, after which a doctor becomes a gynecologist, neurologist, some specialist, cardiology, like that. These standards are tailor-made to very specific to that particular sector. So these are the various standards available. And for the benefit of the small scale, medium and small industries, the MSME certificate holders, Department of Industries and Commerce, they have a subsidy scheme. Whatever you spend on getting the ISO 9000 certification, it is fully refunded. Many of the small industry may not be aware of it. So we are facilitating that also. And apart from the other scheme, what then all the new entrepreneur needs. On,
needs, then EGP.
EGP, that entrepreneur.
As per DIC schemes.
Yes, all these are DIC schemes in which they give lot of subsidy and interest subvention also. Of late, very recently, they covered trading also. Previously, only manufacturing and services were covered. Now they cover, they start giving subsidy for trading activity also. Along with that, they also organize training program. Whoever is the beneficiary, they have a consortium of people comprising from banks and various authorities. The beneficiaries undergo a training to how to run the business, because most of they concentrate on the new entrepreneur and young and upcoming first generation entrepreneurs, lady women entrepreneurs, like that. They have different schemes, and we also interact with them and facilitating them in getting all these subsidies and interest subventions. Anything else you like me to elaborate, ma'am? Fee structure, I will go to fee structure then. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we for small and medium there is no application fee. Only for large enterprises and SAARC countries, they need to pay 500 rupees application fee. And this, our license fee is for medium and micro small enterprises, 15,000. And for large scale and the SAARC countries, it is 30,000 for operative period of 3 years. Then the audit days are, audit fees is 12,000 per mandate for all the schemes. It is other except the milk certification. For milk certification, it is based on the volume of milk processed, which I will give separately. It is up to the airport or railway station, BIS will bear the cost. From there, pickup to local stay and travel has to be borne by the licensee, that is the auditee. So discount schemes are available. This based on the actual money spent in the audit. We can consider from this 12,000 per mandate, we can make a discount of 3,000 for large scale and 4,000 for a small scale. Yes, ma'am. So this is a brief outline about the various certification schemes and the fee structure by BIS.
Any scheme for startups, sir? Because startups are also covered under this subsidy schemes and reimbursement process. So is there any criteria for when certifying the startups? Is there a same fee structure, or do they have a different structure? If not, please consider, because a lot many startups in the country today going for certifications, more so on management systems also. And they're also eligible for all the reimbursements, sir, actually.
Yes, ma'am. There are two possibilities here. One is the already 50% discount we are giving for medium, micro and small enterprises.
Yeah.
That is from 30,000 to 15,000. And there is a discount in audit fee. Like I said, instead of 12,000 per mandate, it will be 9,000 per mandate. Also depending on the case-to-case basis. And in addition to that, whatever expense they are incurring in getting this ISO 9000, that is fully 100% it is refunded by DIC, the respective district industry center.
Yes.
That also we will facilitate them.
And that is all, because they come under MSMEs, but startups have a different definition. We can just discuss about it on some other day. Maybe I will also just send a small representation, because startups, the definition is different, and where they get the recognition is also different. It's a different, they're different from MSME recognitions. Maybe because now something needs to be addressed there also. I will just discuss with you one day. I didn't know that you're covering all the NEET schemes and all these things. That's very interesting. Almost all the DIC schemes, BIS is linked and connected. That's very surprising to know, and we are very glad to know about it.
Many committees of the state government also, we are members.
Not many beneficiaries for NEET schemes, and too many entrepreneurs were benefited actually. And we did take sessions for them on quality management systems and all that. Glad to know that, they are also recognized and covered under this. Thank you, sir. So you've covered all the management system standards. Later on, we can do specific programs and specific sessions also.
Whatever is the need of the industry, we are always there to guide them and support them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
We will so, based on the interest shown by a specific sector.
Yes.
Those we can have an exclusive meeting for their specific sector. whoever is.
Lot of requests. Actually, we are getting sometimes, what you may consider as a very basic and fundamental, but it is information for the industry. They are asking for sessions like, show us what is the BIS portal, explain about the portal, explain about the information that is available in the portal. If I'm an industry, I'm a user, how do I go and see that? Because we are seeing couple of portals, we are getting confused, couple of links, couple of pages, and so maybe sessions like this.
When we go to other departments for some work also, we also face the same difficulty. No?
Yes.
How to fill up the form, what are the documents to be attached.
Absolutely. Industry is asking for basic presentations, because especially in the product certification, as I told you, a lot of requirements and a lot of requests, and they're asking like, where is the standards page portal? Half the time I end up in doing this only. Get all the requests, or taking the link for the respective page and just say, I want to refer this, where is it available? I couldn't figure it out. And sometimes even I have to just go on searching. Maybe basic sessions will help. Okay, management system standards, it's available in the portal. These are the QCOs you wanted. What is a QCO? That is a question I'm being asked often. What is a QCO? So I think a lot of education is needed, and maybe we have to do a product certification, because it's they have to sell products. There is a requirement in management system standards. No doubt businesses need this. And thank you so much.
One of the benefit of product certification licenses taking management system is in a QCO certain thing is made mandatory. Just the product meets the standard. Because unless they have a robust QMS implemented in their factory, they cannot 100% all the time. It is difficult to ensure that the product is meeting, because if the product is not meeting the requirement, then it has to be scrapped or it has to be reworked.
Absolutely.
Very costly, and this competitive world and all the logistics and economics, it will be very, very big hit for the industry to bear the quality cost. So 100% ensure that the product never fails to meet the. It is better to have a overall QMS implemented in their system, so that right from raw material to the end products, full entire supply chain, they are always benefited by the provisions of the standard.
It is. Yes,
So
I fully
support this, and this is fully refundable for them also.
Very nice, very interesting.
Yes, why the government has made remaining all the schemes, you see 25% discount, subsidy, 50% subsidy, like that. But only in ISO 9001, it is 100%. The reason is, unless they have A to Z complete coverage of that umbrella, it is difficult to survive.
Very, very important. And the mother of all standards, 9001 is a beautiful standard, mother of all standards. And in fact, see, this is a question again we keep getting often, that is the scheme still there? The subsidy scheme is there, or is it closed? These common questions, like where to apply, how to apply, so the industry keeps asking. Actually, those programs are not happening. We need to involve, bring the respective officials from DIC also. We should reach out to the respective state government, DIC. We should ask DIC also to come and present about Tamil Nadu government. For example, if you are doing in this state, we have to ask them to come and speak, or we can even ask MSME cell also to come and present this. Because industry should know. This is a common question they are asking. Is the scheme still there, or it's wound up? Or whether it is extended, whether it is all these things are happening. And then we need to link all these things to some authentic certifications also, which is very, very important. Yes, ISO 9000 is a beautiful standard. 14001 is a beautiful standard. But the kind of certificates that are being flashed and flagged at the marketplace, which is also, so responsible certifications is also need of the hour. We may have to educate or tell the industry, because now, at least after so many years, we stopped getting questions. Even as of last week, somebody was asking, I want to get my brand certified to ISO 9001. I want to get my product certified to ISO 9001. Till 10 years ago, this question used to ask, because still product certification and management system certification, that difference is not understood. It is much, much better. Industry has reached a level of maturity. We need to educate the industry to look for authentic certifications and responsible certifications, and also to ensure that the industry gets benefited by all the schemes at the end of the day. That gap is there, and those sessions are not happening. Maybe we will take your help also to roll out some of these sessions.
Ma'am,
Okay.
last couple of questions is meant for Mr. BAS. So maybe he can answer. After that, we can go to the questions from Mr. Srivastava, ma'am.
Which I've just noted down.
No, last 4 questions, if you see, is for
right.
BAS. Yeah.
Yes.
Criteria for obtaining the subsidy.
Yes, that is what they are asking. We can do some sessions through the chamber. Chamber also can reach
And
out.
if a milk producing company obtain ISO 22,000 certification, will it be possible to reimburse the cost from BAS?
Just looking into all these things one by one. I have made a note of all those questions, Vijayalakshmi. I'll just read out one by one all the questions.
Last 4 questions are meant for BAS.
Yeah, there is, just let me go from the bottom. So there is one, the charges are included, okay, for establishing the standard across the company and certification. The tariff and the fee, what you have shown in the screen, sir. They are asking, Mr. Raghavan is asking, are the charges included for establishing the implementing the standard across the company and certification? Whether it is towards implementation and certification, it is a certification cost is what you have shown, no, sir. Implementation is an internal exercise. Those things you need to budget internally.
Exactly, ma'am. Actually, the cost of certification that would be reimbursed by the DIC. For implementation, sometimes they may have to buy machinery, they may have to appoint manpower. All these are their internal mechanism.
Yes, in implementation, actually, the scheme covers consultation fee plus the certification fee. The consultation charges are towards implementation, but internally you may have some budgets depending upon the standard. Some standards are technical standards which may have more internalization cost also. Some standards are generic management system standards. So those implementation things, you may have to take a budgetary thing. What is allowed for a subsidy, what is not allowed, that criteria is there. We will have some specific sessions on that, because this is a question which is being asked repeatedly. We also come across this.
As far as I know, madam, for implementation of any new technology, a separate budget is available with DICs.
Yeah, the technology development scheme only, no, sir? Yeah, there are some schemes. That is what we need to make. See, what they mean by implementation is, while implementing this towards calibration, maybe towards testing, towards this, all this other expenses, buying standards, buying some technical standards, product standards. So although there are incidental costs associated with the training the personnel, sending the personnel for training and all that. So when they make an internal budget, whether they can cover all these things under subsidy scheme is what they are asking. And we will get those things addressed, sir. Because US subsidy scheme, there is some criteria which says cost incurred towards consultation and towards certification. And Dr. Rajesh Bajaj, yes, about the startups, we have to have a representation. I will also send a small note, because startups need to be recognized independently. Yes, maybe the tariff and all those things, but they don't come under MSME category. They are a different category. How do we make this implementing management systems a culture? Because a lot of startups are implementing information security. They're all, because cybersecurity is so important. Most of the startups are tech businesses or technology-led businesses. So they implement ISMS, and they are implementing ISMS. We are seeing this, but how do we bring them under our umbrella and make them understand that, there are schemes available, benefits. And many of the startups, however successful they are, they don't even have an ISO 9001 certification, quality management system. It's very surprising. We are seeing many startups who are successful and then, doing performance-wise, financially very well. But when it comes to management system certifications, yes, there are not many, not even, you can't even count those things on your fingers, not even a basic management system standard like an ISO 9001. So how do we encourage them to implement all these things? We need to address them. We have to bring them, come out with a scheme for them also to motivate them. There is a question, please explain about trading BIS. That is, you were mentioning about trading businesses are also covered under MSME definition. Recently, during the COVID time, trading businesses were not covered under MSME definition all these years. Similarly, service sector like healthcare was not included under MSME definition during the COVID period last year. Even healthcare businesses are covered under MSME definition. Trading businesses are also covered under definition. So by default in lieu of that, by default, what happens is when they implement quality management systems like ISO 9001 standards and all, they are also eligible for this reimbursement because the scheme is created for MSME businesses. So whoever is covered under the definition of MSME, they are eligible to get this subsidies. This is what Vijayaveeran sir was mentioning. Am I right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I think there is a question now for Srivastava ji. Sir, is code for IS code for hazard identification? Have you covered that? Can it be repeated? Is what they asked.
I can tell.
Yeah.
That is IS 15656. IS 15656.
Yeah. Okay.
It is title is hazard identification and risk analysis. It is a code of practice. IS 15656.
There is a question from Mr. Vijayan Kuti. This is again to Vijayaveeran sir. If a milk producing company obtains ISO 22000 certification, will it be possible to reimburse get the reimbursement from BIS? Is the ISO 22000 eligible for reimbursement scheme?
No, madam. Actually, as far as reimbursement is concerned, BIS does not do any reimbursement.
Yes.
It is only DIC which does the reimbursement.
Yes.
And the present schemes are available with the DICs are applicable for ISO 9001 only.
Okay. Even 14001 is not there, sir?
No.
And if you want to shift your existing FSMS license to BIS, then we can consider a discount scheme based on your MSME status as well as the other how many mandates required, what is the cost incurred in auditing of the firm. Like that, based on these criteria, we can consider the discount pattern.
Yeah, BIS does not offer any subsidies, reimbursement. It is coming from MSME and the Ministry of MSME, and these are all through district industry centers. So it is the respective state governments and district industry cells which processes all these applications. BIS is a certification, they offer certifications. Maybe they can guide the businesses, help the businesses with some facilitation process.
Now they have made it online, madam.
Oh, it's
Yes.
all online.
Yes.
We need to know that is what, sir. These are the sessions that are needed. How to apply, where to apply, how do they do it? And, that is where we will be adding a lot of value to the industry also. Criteria for obtaining the subsidiary. Yes, we will arrange, do another session on this. We are just making note of all these questions. Certain things we will facilitate and we will do it. Requesting the speakers to share the presentations. We will take their permission and we will get the presentation from them. The chamber will circulate to everybody.
Oh, yes, I will send, madam.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a question, is any standard like ISO 18001-2018? Is there any such standard available now? It is 18001-2018. Now it is only 45001.
It is only 45,001.
Yeah, OHSAS 18,001 is obsolete since September 2021. Somebody has shared it for information. Yeah. And so this is an interesting question from Mr. Anup Chandra, very valid, relevant question. When more and more workers are on a contract level, now world over, we are moving towards a gig economy now. So almost all the workplaces are becoming driven by gig economy, and on a contractual employees are more and more. How can you implement this standard effectively? This is the question to Srivastava ji. Very interesting.
Madam, the standard, I have already in my presentation, I have included that the leadership, that is the top management, has to demonstrate and make a commitment. And they need to provide appropriate training to the person whosoever is working in a particular area. It is his responsibility. If there will be any accident, then he will be held responsible. He has to ensure the person is being sent after a proper training for that particular activity. That he has to ensure him.
Good.
The top management, not anybody else.
Absolutely. I agree. That's very important. And
Now he is accountable also. It is his responsibility and he is accountable for the effectiveness of management system.
Management systems. Thank you, sir. An interesting question from Mr. Vijayan Kuti again. Workers' Union is there in India. So hope this can be part of the H&S committee, Health and Safety Committee.
Yeah. No, Health and Safety Committee, it is mandatory as per the Factory Act. And most of the things are being discussed. And whenever we are going for the audit, we definitely verify what are the things being considered in Safety Committee meeting. Whether it is being put up to the top management for providing appropriate safety measure to the workers. So all those things we consider. And there is one thing, madam, I would like to tell you, the membership in that committee, 50% management and then the 50% worker.
Okay.
That is the scenario. If there are 30 committee member, then 15 will be the worker and 15 will be the management side. That is as per the act.
Yeah, the new industrial code, now there is going to be a lot of changes to the workers' unions, and that's going to happen, and many things are going to change from a regulatory perspective. Thank you, sir. Again, Mr. Prashant, another interesting question. Occupational health and safety of workers should cover remote health monitoring mechanism and a system also. Preventive care for industry-specific groups in healthcare is essential. Does the standard address this remote monitoring, health monitoring system and preventive care?
Madam, I would like to tell you, as per the Factory Act, there is a provision number 1, medical checkup of the employees.
Yes.
Top management and then worker level. And those who are working in hazardous area, they should be medically examined at least twice in a year. Rest once in a year, number 1. All the industries, they have already set up a first aid center or mini hospital they have established in the campus only, that is available inside the factory. They take care of small issues they are related to the worker. First aid box will be available as per the OHSAS. First aid box must be available in all the department, and one person must be trained to provide first aid facility to the worker level. All those things are being taken care of, and there are various systems has been evolved for the safety of employees. There are cameras they have installed at various locations, monitoring systems that they have already installed at various locations. So remote locations, those who are working, they are being monitored by the camera. That I have seen at various locations. But the scenario is getting changed day by day. Many situations, it may not be covered right now, but slowly and slowly the people will get aware of, and they will have some kind of mechanism to have some control over it.
Thank you, sir. Actually, most of the standards for better implementation, these are very closely connected to the regulatory requirements.
Yes, regulatory.
Reading the Factories Act thoroughly and various other, even implementing OHSAS or EMS for that matter. Specifications are very clearly given in the Factories Act. When that is understood and kind of implemented better, these are all voluntary certification programs, and those are regulatory requirements. If anybody is reading an OHSAS code also, I mean, all the 4 industrial codes now, labor codes, if you read industrial code, wage code and all that, the criteria that is defined is crystal clear. So well defined, and these questions will keep arising, this remote monitoring of the health systems, and then, focus on wellness. So these are all post-pandemic queries and requirements. Otherwise, OHSAS is always considered as an industrial safety, and now the focus is more on workplace safety, and workplace need not be an industry at all. I mean, it need not be a factory, industrial factory or something like that. It can be even a small office.
Madam, all the industries, they have identified COVID-19 as a hazard
Yes.
and identified the risk, and the all control measures they have implemented.
Right. Not
They have
larger,
identified as hazard COVID-19.
yes. Larger businesses, larger facilities. Yes, we're talking
Yes.
about mid-sized businesses, small business, even small offices. OHSAS code says even a small office has to have a workplace health and safety mechanism in place.
Yes.
May not implement OHSAS, but at least, the finer aspects they can always pick up and do it from OHSMS. Request for a seminar on electrical requirements for medical devices. Yes, we can do one day. We can invite BIS to do this session. We have just made a note of it. We will arrange. There is a question on regulations applicable for plug types for imported medical devices. Again, I've seen many questions on medical devices. Maybe they see me in those medical devices sessions. So those things also, I have just made a note of it. We will organize. We will just take the help of BIS. Some of these are all product standards also. We can ask them to address some of this. Yeah, there's a question now, 26,002. This question was already answered by Shri Yadav ji. Specific program on IS 26,002, it will be done. We will take the help of BIS to organize it. There are many standards in the series. A brief about them also can be spoken. I think Srivastava ji has explained it in detail. Well, talking about ISO 45001. They wanted you to touch upon the various standards in the series. EMS and OHSAS, both are essential for the industries. Why can't we combine and form guidelines for betterment so that both can be implemented hand by hand? So talking about some integration here, EMS and OHSAS, combining both and...
One question has come in the direct message, ma'am.
Yeah.
What is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in OHSAS?
Yes.
And
that
it
question
is
is also there.
Now, it is generally believed that new, more harmful viruses are most likely in future. Whatever we have learned from the ongoing pandemic, is it possible to standardize preventive safety protocols for the future?
Sir can answer it. Srivastava ji.
Madam, it is a doctor can reply, can give a better reply. We are the people from the management side, but we definitely find out that all industries, they have doctors placed in the campus. They are checking and try to prevent, like all social distancing is maintained, all precautions are being taken, but we can't commit or we can't say anything about it. Nobody knows in what direction it will move, what will be the future of this COVID in the coming days. We can't say anything, but we have to bear with it. As soon as the situation will come, everybody has to take care on the advice of the and the direction of the government or the advice of the doctor. We have to move accordingly. We cannot do anything. The management expert cannot do anything about it.
That is why during the COVID, see, the standard is very generic standard, sector agnostic.
Generic standard.
And this standard, as I was mentioning, it was always implemented based upon the Factories Act requirement. And most of the businesses are outside the Factories Act. They don't, so they're outside the Factories Act definition. Now, that is why I said, during this period, globally, forget about India, internationally, the OSH guidelines, frameworks are released in each and every country where there is, this is where, they have combined lot of medical advisories and medical bulletins into this. Now, in our country, we have our own Ministry of Health and various state governments releasing our own National Disease Center, releasing regular workplace health and safety guidelines and protocols. Those things may not be addressed or may not be there in your standard directly. And these are all the medical advisories and health advisories released by the governments, and we need to incorporate all that while implementing OHSAS. Because, occupational workplace health and safety standards requirements may not be specified in this, because was mentioning it is always understood as a standard which is implemented at factories and all that. It's changing now. Today, hospital wants to implement. Today, in fact, a lot of participation registrations are from healthcare industry and various services sector also. Hospital wants to implement workplace health and safety management system. The hotel is already implementing it. They may want to do it. An IT company want to do it. Smallest office with about 100 employees may want to do it. And they don't find a place in the Factories Act or any of those requirements. So technically, as you're rightly right, because the nature of this pandemic and the manner in which it is evolving, we are unable to predict also. A scientific community itself is finding it extremely tough and challenging. So we need to go by those current advisories and health advisories and bulletins issued, and we may have to integrate those with this requirements. And just one or two more questions only. This is what is the impact of OHSAS? Yes, we have addressed it already. What is what difference does it make whether you call it as an assurance or a management? The key is risks are identified, assessed, and managed. I think this is an observation. This is not a query. Otherwise, I think we have answered all the questions. There's some more. Is there anything related to the life cycle of biomedical equipment? Means till what time it is to be used and then changed? Any guidelines available? Biomedical, medical devices. I'm just making a note of all these queries. We will address a separate session for biomedical medical devices. We will request BIS to do a separate session for that. When the industry will look forward to implement IMS, single management system, it is already happening.
Already,
yeah, it is already happening, and industry, many
industry has taken.
Have taken it, and they prefer implementing IMS. It's more sensible way of doing it. Can service industry get certified to OHSMS? Yes, of course. Will it be beneficial for the organization? The requirement and the demand is more from the services sector now, because at the end of the day, this is about workplace health and safety. Applicable for all businesses, all sectors, and all domains. The demand is increasing from services sectors. Is it necessary to carry out all test parameters as listed in the Schedule of Factories Act to assess work zone area of an industry? Or only industry specific test? Sir, this question to you, Srivastava ji.
The question is not very clear, because look, it is the standard is generic in nature. It doesn't specify anything. It says only monitoring and measurement and appropriate corrective actions.
Right.
So standard is generic in nature. It is the industry to decide what are the issues and how it can be tackled, how it can be tested, and what corrective actions are required. It is industry to decide. And then standard give them the opportunity to take appropriate action to move in a proper direction. That's all. Beyond it, we cannot help it out.
Beautiful question from Mr. Mohan. Work from home, is it covered in OHSAS? Excellent question.
Definitely, it is a kind of preventive measure to work from home. This
question was asked. I will just tell you about the recent court judgment I was reading just about last month. I think this has happened in US. Yes, it has happened in US. An employee who was working from home he had a fall, and he slipped and fell while he was walking from his bedroom to his workspace inside his house. When he fell down and slipped, and then he applied for the insurance rejected it, saying that this is not a workplace related incident. And there was a court judgment which is given that any such things happening inside your house when during the office hours, working hours, and this is deemed and considered and recognized as a safety issue, and this has to be treated, and insurers cannot reject it. This judgment was given. So work from home also, how do you going to bring it under your OHS implementation radar? It's going to be extremely tough and challenging. To what extent OHS standard is applicable when some of the employees of an organization have to perform their duties outside for installation, maintenance, commissioning, etc. at customers' premises?
Madam, whatever the activity the employees are performing, they have a written procedure, documented it,
Right.
and all the financial benefits are elaborated over there. If they will meet any accident, so then all the benefit will reach to him, and the top management has to provide, because accident has occurred while working on behalf of the company. So therefore, he will entitled for all kind of benefits, all medical treatment or compensation, whatever it is.
Perfect. Thank you. Nice question from Paragji. I think the fee of consultants registered with QCI is only reimbursed and there is a cap on it. Please correct me if it's otherwise. This is about the reimbursement. Empaneled and registered consultants. And even then there is a cap on the fee. We will actually have some specific programs on this. What are the current guidelines and norms? And then, you know, which are the schemes which are eligible and all these things. We will have some session on this, Paragji.
Yes, madam, because this is a purely DIC matter. So the subsidies and refunds are given by the reimbursement is done by the DIC. Which may have a limit of 1 lakh or 50, whatever it is. And what is the latest figures? What are the provisions that it is better to have a DIC officer?
Yes.
Also in the committee.
Yes. Because in Tamil Nadu now, they have actually upped the reimbursement subsidies for management system certification, the new industrial policy, and they have really given very good budgets, excellent budgets, which we never had all these years, especially for various management system standards. And they have listed out not just 9001, as you are rightly, it is a DIC matter. DIC has listed out a long list. I happen to read the notification. We will ask them, we will make them come and present this actually. Like this, we need to, because it differs from state to state. Right. So CBs cannot do, nice question. That's my favorite question. CBs cannot do consultancy as well and charge for certification. No, they cannot do. CBs cannot do consulting. Consultants cannot do certification. It's a conflict of interest. So let us be very clear about it. Any criteria for the consultation fee? Paragji, yes, as I said, you know, we need to ask the respective DICs. Let us try to arrange one session with the DIC from Tamil Nadu. Let us see how it is. We can even ask MSME also, DC MSME also to do a session on this. They can also present it. We don't even know which schemes are currently available and not available. Consultation charges plus certification charges. That's how it is always. I think we have covered all the questions. So such a detailed session, and I could see Mr. Kansara, sir is not there. Actually, I could see him.
No, he was there.
Thank you so much for your participation, sir. We are very happy to have you here today. You're muted, sir. You want us to unmute you? Vijayalakshmi?
Yeah, it's unmuted now.
No, Mr. N.K. Kansara.
Yeah, he is very well there.
Yeah, he said, no, we need to unmute him. Now we'll ask the host to unmute him.
Kansara ji, unmute kar lo.
No, we just will unmute. Just 1 second, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now
Yeah,
I'm through. Yeah,
audible.
really, I was very much interested. It was a very good program. And I was happy to note that people were really enthusiastic about the standards promotion activities which we are doing. And just to share with you that post my retirement, BIS has continued my engagement.
Yes.
And I am continuing for the standard promotion work. You were referring to the Standards Club also, which our Chennai has also done a great job. As of now, we have more than 500 standards clubs already established in various schools. And in very near future, it will multiply manifold. And as Mr. Yadav was also referring, we have a lot of interactions with the industry, the government, and we are going into the very finer details, how to support the industry and the service provider. for benefiting themselves. I would just simply say IFD means you insist on quality, then you follow quality and deliver quality. If all these things are there, so everywhere you can find BIS and the standards which are formed by BIS. I was good to even in the beginning also, this was reference. So I'm really thankful for that. And we will continue and to be the catalyst for this thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, and very informative session. We didn't know that. How did we spend the 2 hours? Thank you so much. Over to you, Vijayalakshmi.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I would like to thank all the speakers, as you rightly said, how the 2 hours have gone, we don't know, because almost all the 110 participants have posted the questions. So we were so engrossed in the questions, and we are happy that it is so interactive and excellent and informative session. And I thank BIS for joining us today amidst some technical difficulties. And I thank Mr. O.N. Srivastava for joining us today. And we would like to present an memento to the speakers here. Of course, to Mr. Yadav, we'll be sending it by email since he's not here around. And as Rama madam has put it, definitely we will take the sessions on, specific sessions like medical devices, footwear, everything on a case-to-case basis, because there are a lot of inquiries for those. So here there is a memento to Mr. O.N. Srivastava. This will be sent to you, sir, by email.
Okay, thank you.
And to Mr. Vijayaveeran.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, to Mr. Vijayaveeran. This, along with some few photographs taken during the program, will be sent to the speakers by email. And I request the BIS and Mr. Srivastava to please share the presentation to our mail ID, andhrachamber1@gmail.com, so that we will be circulating it among the participants who are registered. And I thank Ms. Rama Venugopal for organizing this wonderful session, because we were just discussing in the last week what program that we can do for this month, because we haven't started the year yet because the cases were on the surge. So we were wondering whether to have a physical program or a webinar, things like that. So she said that immediately, no, this program, we can do it. This is a need of the hour. And thank you very much, ma'am, for organizing it in such a short notice. And we are also happy that so many participants could join us today for this program. And I thank the speakers once again for their excellent and informative session. And we look forward to work with you, BIS and DIC, for many such engagements for the benefit of industry members. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Namaskar.